Hello. I want to share a little bit with you about the priest Eli in 1 Samuel chapter 3. By the way, this is Jimmy Reed with Me Prophesy. In the book of 1 Samuel chapter 3, we see that, at least my Bible has a subtopic and it says Samuel's first prophecy, but I want to depict the priest first because yes, we're not supposed to be in sin and all of that. I probably would stand corrected in this part of the video, but I want to gear you away from that and show you how God will use us in light and in spite of ourselves. Because He's a good God and He's in love with us. And He knows that we make mistakes. And He knows that we don't want to make the mistakes, that we care. And I want to encourage you today to don't wallow in your mistakes, because that's the enemy. The Holy Spirit convicts us. We are the enemy of God and us. We know who that is. Makes us feel just very low about the mistakes we make. And so then we feel like we can't do anything for God. Eli raised Samuel, a prophet of God. Now Eli is depicted, if you do a good study on Eli, he was a priest, but he was known as a wicked priest. Because in the temple where he lived, he allowed wicked things to take place because of his children. He loved his children just like the Lord loves us. But he allowed things to happen in the house of the Lord that should not have taken place. Now, some of you will know about this because you've read it, and some of you might want to read it about that, because this prophecy that God gave Samuel, a little boy, has to do with some of that. To the destruction of Eli and his sons, to Israel, God used a child that was raised in the house of the Lord by a wicked priest who allowed things to go on that should not have. He used him in spite of. So anyway, all Samuel really knew the voice of was his mentor, and that was priest Eli. If you start in 1 Samuel chapter 3, we'll go to verse 4, that the Lord called Samuel and he answered, "Here I am." See, they had gone to bed. The scriptures say that the lights were going dim in the temple. The candles were going out. Eli had laid down. And so now when it's quiet, which God often does come to us when it's quiet, doesn't he? He called Samuel. Samuel didn't know God's voice. So he ran to Eli and said, "Here I am, for you called me." Eli said, "No, I didn't call you. Go back and lay down." I'm paraphrasing right quick. Verse 6, then the Lord called yet again, "Samuel." So Samuel went back to Eli and said, "Here I am, for you called me." He answered, "I did not call you, my son. Go back and lie down." Now Samuel in verse 7 did not know the Lord. He did not know the Lord, nor was the word of the Lord yet revealed to him. And God used him. And the Lord called Samuel again. The third time he went to Eli, and Eli said, "It wasn't me, but I think I know who it was, or I know who it was." I'm paraphrasing. "Here I am, for you did not call me." Then Eli perceived that the Lord had called the boy. And then Eli said in verse 9, "Go lie down, and it shall be, if he calls, that you must say, 'Speak, Lord, for your servant hears.'" So Samuel went and lay down in his place. Now the Lord came and stood and called as at the other times, but this time God said Samuel's name twice. "Samuel, Samuel." And Samuel answered, "Speak, for your servant hears." Now it talks about in the previous verses in that chapter that there wasn't even any widespread or regular revelation of God. Revelation, one of the terms or definitions, is the manifestations of God himself to man. And it's saying that that was rare. And it also goes on to say that Samuel, the word of the Lord hadn't even been revealed to him. Now he was living in a temple with the priest. So that says a lot right there. But God went on to speak to this little boy, prophet Samuel, who actually anointed David as king. He anointed Saul as king first, then David. And Samuel was very well honored throughout the land. But it went on to say, as the little boy, starting in verse 11, God gave him a word for Israel, that's a nation, and for Eli the priest and his sons. God will reveal his word to you. Be encouraged today. Who, me? Prophesy? Why not you? We must be righteous before the Lord. Wear those helmets that he's placed on us of righteousness. He is a majestic God, and he does desire to speak to you. So who, me? Prophesy? Say me to yourself.